Hey guys, CJ here with another edition of our Top 5 Tuesdays, and this time we're breaking down the dumbest, hands down the dumbest fanboy fights in history. We've got a lot to cover and not a lot of time, so let's dive right in. But first, a little disclaimer, you might feel offended, but remember, these are the dumbest things that fanboys fight about. I'm not saying that whenever these characters have fought, it's been dumb. I'm just saying when these characters fight, fanboys tend to fight about them a lot longer and a lot more than the fights occur themselves. So, let's get started. Yes, grabbing our honorable mention spot, it's Batman vs. Superman. Now, this one might not sit too well with some folks, especially not since this is the subject of a major motion picture coming out next year. However, it's really one of those where you have to ask yourself why, and haven't we done this before? Ever since they squared off in Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, fans everywhere have been fascinated with the concept of a mere mortal like Batman facing off and taking down an invulnerable alien like Superman. And while in that book Batman was victorious, in most cases, barring extraneous circumstances, shouldn't it really be a fight that Superman wins? Of course, I'm just probably going to spark a debate about that in the comments, but it's a non sequitur. Despite all the debate, they usually actually never fight that much. I think it's The Dark Knight Returns and maybe a handful of other times. So no matter how much the fans fight about it, they're always going to be fighting about it way more than Batman and Superman actually fight. Coming in at number 5, it's the best pair of Wilsons since Luke and Owen. Disregard the fact that we did this matchup for a CBVS, like every channel that does the same type of show has in the past. This one is really just stupid, and it's not really even a fight. Deathstroke and Deadpool almost never actually face off in canon, and they're such different characters that this honestly might not even be a fight if Wade wasn't a carbon copy of Slade. Deep down though, these two aren't really even that similar, bearing resemblance only in name, and of course that's first name. Deadpool is of course everyone's favorite fourth wall breaking mutate, while Deathstroke is a remarkably skilled assassin. Even more, the fight is made all the more lame for the fact that Liefeld, Deadpool's creator, won't even admit to his all too transparent intentions, claiming that Wade is not in fact a parody or copy, but rather original. Right, Rob? Right. In the end, though, this debate really isn't even actually about a fight. It's more about preference, I guess. Do you prefer your wisecracking Deadpool or your badass assassin Deathstroke? It's up to you, but it makes this fight much, much more pointless. Coming in at number 4, Superman vs. Shazam. And this one, much like Superman and Batman, is hotly debated. The Superman-Shazam battle is one less of malice, though, like some on this list, and more of a friendly rivalry between two of DC Comics' strongest heroes. Billy Batson, of course, is the 12-year-old alter ego of Shazam, so it makes sense that this battle is a little bit like a schoolyard pissing contest. Who's stronger, or faster, an alien, or a boy with god powers? What's worse is the fact that most folks don't actually really know that much about Shazam, making him out to be more or less Electric Superman, which would be completely false. And the story gets more complicated when you examine their origins. Though Superman emerged first in 1938, Shazam originated the next year in 1939, and while Superman was already strong and invulnerable, he was still only leaping buildings in single bounds. Captain Marvel was the first comic book character to fly without means of lift or propulsion. Of course, the first comic book character to fly was Namor, but he had wings on his feet. But the real reason this fight is on the worst list is because people generally don't know what they're talking about when they argue about it. So, educate yourselves, folks. Coming in at number 3, Batman vs. Everyone. And this one might piss some people off. Batman, sit down. We need to talk. You have a problem. You're paranoid. You probably have OCD. You definitely have some kind of personality disorder, and you really ought to go see a therapist to work out your unresolved issues with your parents' death. Yes, it's allowed you to become the world's greatest detective and master 100+ martial arts in an unrealistic time span, but it's gone too far. And what do I mean? Well, Batman has the bad habit of plotting against his fellow heroes with the excuse that it's just in case that they go rogue. And this whole thing blew up in their face in Justice League Doom, but everyone kind of magically forgave Batman for it. The worst thing to come out of this is anyone pretending that Batman could not only take out the entire Justice League at once. On a good day, he can maybe get one or two, but more likely than anything, any one of them should be able to handle the situation. Hell, it took an entire crew of supervillains to enact Batman's plans and take down the Justice League simultaneously, so there's no way Batman would be able to get all of them using those plans simultaneously. It's just not physically possible, even for Batman and all his layers of plot armor. So let's stop pretending that Batman could take on the world if they rushed him all at once. And for P.S., you can send your hate mail to Josh Baldera at 3415 Faux Street Road, Real Place to Stand, Virginia. Coming in at number 2, Goku vs. Superman. Yes, it's the fan battle so terrible that it actually beat out my criticism of modern Batman writing. It's Superman versus Goku. And honestly, this might be the fight the fanboys argue over the most. with the least evidence. I mean, what makes it so hard to argue is the fact that they come from two completely different universes with two completely different power sets. While both are incredibly fast, Goku might be the better fighter, while Superman is by far the stronger of the two. And why do I say completely different universes? I mean, you look at, this isn't just comparing something like Marvel and DC, because those come from the same background. I mean, they're capes. They usually have at least relatable power sets. In this one, it's much harder to combine the two. I mean, how do we know how Super Saiyan 3 Goku would match up against a fully powered Superman? Well, we know, as I said, that Superman is massively much stronger than Goku, but who's to say that he could even hit the guy and that Goku wouldn't be able to take him down? But why would Superman and Goku even be fighting in the first place, given that both of them are actually supposed to be their universe's stand-up guys? It's hard to imagine a reason they'd fight outside of a Secret Wars-style convergence. This fight is, as I've mentioned, incredibly difficult because while Goku has instant transmission and a wide range of energy blasts, Superman is so OP it might not even matter. And yet, people will still debate it and continue to debate it forever and ever and ever, the end. Coming in at number 1, Marvel vs. DC. Yep, we just got meta with it. No one knows how the war began. All we know is that you're either on a side or you're stuck in the middle. But really though, this is the one that irks me the most. I mean, this rivalry of course has been around for a long time, and it's especially intensified this past few years with the rise and thriving of the MCU and the coming of the DCU, and it doesn't seem like it'll be ending very soon, with both having tons of movies coming out before 2020 and very potentially into the near future. And what it all comes down to is tonal differences, really. While Marvel's embraced the light and fun side of the comic books they're based on, DC has erred more on the side of realism and a darker look at these superheroes. But why are we fighting anyways? Why can't we all get along? Why do people treat this like Israel and Palestine? God damn it, folks. Just let people like what they like, and you can like what you like, and don't worry about it. The end. I've solved it. This is peace in our time.